Your lick back. If a nigga gon' do something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop, let this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. Get your lick back. If a nigga gon' do something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop, let this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. I feel like I'm JX. J-Way. I'm a perfectionist. Adderall got me restless. I'm gone. Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck. Into the trends. See a lead, be the band.
Welcome to Bleachers and Speakers. I'm your host, Joe, and I got my boy B. Foster with me. And before we get into this post-game show, I want to remind everyone to subscribe to Bleachers and Speakers on YouTube. We're trying to get to 200 subscribers, and also follow us on all the podcast aggregators. Make sure that notification bell is on, so when we drop content, you'll get a notification. And when you see our content, please download those episodes. Foster, we got a final in Indianapolis. The Detroit Lions defeat the Colts 24-6. And I must say, man, it wasn't as big of a victory as it appeared to be on the scoreboard. They had their opportunities.
Yeah, they definitely did.
I can even recall a drop touchdown pass in the first quarter.
The tight end dropped a touchdown. Yep. Wow.
Sure, wide open, just dropped it. Yep. That would have put them up 10-0, I believe.
Because it was 3-0 at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have put them up 10-0. Or was it 10? It was 7-3, I believe. I'm sorry. It was 7-3. We had 7, they had 3.
We had scored. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. That would have put them up 10-7. And they had some god-awful penalties. I think we had some penalties as well that were uncalled for. But they had a lot of penalties, a lot of holding calls, 2 key holding calls, which you even inboxed me and told me that's as good as a sack. The holding call on Pascal. And there was another one where they completed the pass downfield for a first down on third down, and it was a holding call. Aleem McNeil was kind of going crazy. The commentator said Aleem McNeil is taking, I forgot the offensive line, he's taking his lunch today.
It might have been Nelson, or
it might have been, but the announcer said, "Oh, he's taking his lunch today." So yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Aleem McNeil had a great game. I'm going to, you know what? I'm gonna stop doing this, Foster. I'm going to stop getting out of the game with injuries, because as soon as I say something, we have that.
Yeah, we had a ton. We had a ton of injuries today.
Okay. Let's start. I'm going to say some, and then if I forget, you just add a couple more. Montgomery went out. He left. Carlton Davis left early. Raymond left early due to an injury. These are things that, and I'm hoping they pull Montgomery as precaution because there's a turnaround game on Thursday. I'm hoping that's what happened. Raymond was limping pretty bad. Taylor Decker got hurt. But he was walking around on the sideline, and I think he was not put back in the game due to precaution because of the quick turnaround that we have to have. But he was limping around, but he started walking kind of normal, and he wasn't on anybody's table or anything else at the end of the game. He was just there, and he was standing, and he seemed to be okay. Yeah, I mean, to have those injuries and a quick turnaround, you got to be really, really careful with your personnel. Really, our corners were at one point Vildor and Dorsey, shades of last year.
Yeah, big time.
Shades of last year. Yeah, you seen Robertson play. I didn't see David Long Jr., but you said he was in there.
Yeah, he didn't record any tackles, but I did see him out there. Yeah, he played. He got some snaps.
Now, I want to give kudos to the defense, and I want to give kudos to the defensive coordinator, because that first drive, they were pretty masterful as far as drawing it up. They had the quarterback draws, they had the run plays, they had the play action, they had everything going their way that first drive. They drove all the way down the field. Uh, Lions tightened up on defense and held them to a field goal. And but that first drive, if that was any indication of what was going to happen for the day, you know what I'm saying? If that was it, we'd have been in trouble. We probably would have been in trouble because they were moving the ball. Richardson looked like, and I was hoping he'd get tired. But he was making plays with his legs and his arm. I saw some inaccuracies late, but early he was on. And so I'm just glad the defense adjusted, especially after half. They adjusted pretty good. They adjusted in the first half. Like I said, that they had maybe 2 drives in the first half that looked scary, but the rest, for the rest of the game, they were pretty quiet.
Yeah. So yeah. So was it 6-0? Did they score kick 2 straight field goals before? Oh
No.
no.
What
Okay. So
happened was they scored 3.
yeah.
Detroit drove down the field a little bit, then they punted, and then they punted, and then we made it 7-3. They made a field goal to make it 7-6.
Right.
But that was after my man dropped the ball. He dropped a wide open
And that's
touchdown.
the same guy that held Pascal
Yeah.
earlier in the game. So
Yes,
um,
sir.
so yeah, he made a couple blunders that hurt him. But when you look at the keys to the game or what were the major factors, our defense in the red zone. Obviously, we held them twice in opportunities where they could have scored touchdowns. We got lucky with the drop, obviously, but yeah, it kept us in the game early as we kind of got our feet wet. We talked about keeping the ball out of their hands. As far as the time of possession, we had the ball 37 minutes in comparison to 22:59 for them. So we did just that, keeping them off the field and controlling the possession pretty well. Penalties, they had 10 to our 5, which kind of for 75 yards for them and 45 yards for us. So a lot of those holding penalties and illegal man downfield and things like that definitely hurt them and slowed some of the momentum that they could have had. Um, and as far as converting on third down, they were only 3 of 12. We got them off the field in a lot of those in a lot of those situations where they wanted to extend their drive. They weren't able to do so.
Yeah, they shot themselves in the foot a lot. And when you're better at taking care of the ball and better at penalties, and the other team is doing what they do, your chances are pretty good of winning. Let's look at the offense, Foster. Who stood out offensively for the Lions?
Lions. Golf had another pretty good game. He didn't have any touchdown passes, but of course we had 3 touchdowns from our running back rushing wise. Golf went 26 of 36 for 270 yards. So
Very
outside,
efficient.
yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Montgomery missed a lot of the game, so he didn't have a lot of production. But Jahmyr Gibbs stepped in, 21 carries for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jamison Williams was the leading receiver with 5 catches for 64 yards, and I think he had a couple end arounds as well. Oh no, just one. Well, he had a screen, which was considered a pass, but he also had a end around for 4 yards. But Tim Patrick looked pretty good.
Patrick was catching.
Yeah.
He had some catches, some tough. Some good first down catches, and Jamo had some really tough catches. Like he's just not the go route guy.
Yeah. He's getting it done on a couple different ways. The little screen pass he had, I feel like he was one. And they highlighted it. On the screen, he didn't go to the outside to avoid the heat. He
No.
went right down the gut with it, and he was one block away from probably breaking it because he was at a pretty pretty good speed by the time he got taken down. So he's not scared. He's not scared to get dirty in the trenches. And yeah, he had a couple of big plays that he tried to that he nearly broke.
Yeah. Before I forget this, right? Because I want to make this point. The Bears and the Vikings are in overtime, and with a quick turnaround, I'm glad they're playing extra football. But go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully they tie. That'll be hilarious.
It looks Minnesota's driving.
Yeah.
It's 3rd and 8, and it looks like they just got a wide open pass. They're well within field goal range, and they're going to win this game in overtime.
Okay. Yeah, I'm behind.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm really not supposed to be paying attention to it anyways. But
I can't help it. I had to look because I wanted to talk crazy to Dave, but hey.
yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't have come to this though. They was up 27-16 with less than 2 minutes left.
Yeah,
Shouldn't
that's
be
kind of crazy. But yeah, hopefully the Bears are wearing themselves down. Oh, here it is.
Yeah. They
But yeah,
what was the final numbers for Gibbs?
he had 21 carries. Dang, I lost it. 21 carries. No, yeah, 21 carries for 90 yards
Okay.
and 2 touchdowns as far as rushing is concerned. And he also had 3 receptions for 9 yards.
For 9, just 9?
Yeah, so I don't know if those were just
Yeah.
dump offs or what.
They were
hard.
on him early, like those 90 yards, they were tough yards. He might have popped a couple for a couple extra yards, but they were on him. He was running tough between the tackles. So it was a tough day. What was Montgomery's final numbers before he left?
He had 8 carries for 37 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. And he had a few catches too. At least 2.
3 for 36.
Yeah.
So better day receiving for him than Gibbs, and then vice versa on the rushing side.
Yeah, we got a final.
You can.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to my boy Pay. I know he punching the air right now, man.
I'm sure you would rather just lost in regulation, huh?
I mean, that's heartbreak. You do all that to come back, and then your first possession, you get the possession out the gate, and you 3 and out it.
I want to say they got another kick block today. I was kind of
they did.
Did they? Yeah,
they did. That last
I was watching.
Yeah, I don't want to continue commenting on them because this is Detroit Lions podcast. But that last possession, Caleb made two big mistakes. He had all the time in the world, and he's running around from defensive ends, trying to escape. You know how he does at USC, running around in circles, hoping he's gonna get away. Well, he tried to do that with the NFL defensive end, and they sacked him. And then once he got sacked, he sat there on the ground for a minute. He wasn't hurt. He was just maybe he was tired.
Frustration, or
it was something, but he didn't get up immediately to get at ref the ball. And then when it was time to hike the ball, they got to delay a game. So not only did they lose 10 yards, 7-8 yards on the sack, they got moved back another 5 yards for the delay of game. And by that time, it was like 3rd and 21, 3rd and 26, whatever it was. I mean, 2nd and 26, whatever. And then they couldn't do much more after that. And then 2 plays and punt.
Rookie mistakes compounding the problems, huh?
Yeah, man. Get rid of the ball. His first down, get rid of the ball. There's no reason for you to just run around in circles, this, that, and other. If it's not there, get rid of a ball. Just not there. He'll learn that though. Hopefully he won't learn it next week. But but yeah. Anyway, back to the Lions. Well, let's take a quick break and then we'll get back to the Lions. If you're listening, you're going to hear some ads. If you're watching, we'll be back in like 10 seconds. You know what I don't like, Foster? You have a game like this and the score says it, right? 24-6. And the defense won't get any credit because of the plays they allowed.
I mean,
that's been the moniker all year, though, Foster. Like, we've heard about the D-backs getting torched, and the defense has played pretty well. They might go a quarter or something in a game where they don't do well, but for the most part, the D-backs, the defense has played pretty good all season.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the score, you can. The only people that really know the amount of yards that we're giving up are people that really sit there and pay attention to the box score. But and even that, you look at Richardson. Richardson only threw 172 yards. Only had 172 yards, 11 completions out of 28. So well below 50%. So I mean, that's a glaring number in itself.
He was under duress too. He was under duress.
And the other thing that doesn't show up in the box scores is the QB pressures. I mean, he almost got sacked in the end zone, right?
Where
he
threw the ball. He threw the ball, and the only reason it wasn't grounded because a defender hit the ball.
And Richardson is a gigantic human being. Like the way McNeil kind of jumped on him, like Richardson was still kind of like, oh, okay. Like,
he almost flicked him out. Like,
bro, that's a big guy. And when he gets and part of the not to shoot him some bail for the way for leaving the game because he was tired, but that guy plays like a running back out there. When he gets into space, who did he run over? Oh, Branch. He ran over
Branch. And Branch is one of the hardest hitting safeties in football.
But he's 6'4", 250 pounds. Yeah. He's like Travis Henry coming at you.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, he's that, and he got loose out there a little bit in the secondary. He had 60 yards rushing. They ran some little options. Like Taylor only ended up with 35 rushing yards, but
yeah, the key was stopping him.
Overall, and overall they finished with just under 100 yards rushing. But that's a big human being. But yeah, we held him under 50% completion percentage and under 200 yards passing. So I mean, although Vildor, and granted, you take away some of those plays where where they had to take back some of those big plays, you probably got a few more yards. But hey, I mean, you hold a man. I mean, he tackled Pascal, the tight end, and he needed to. He saved him. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I can't even put that on the corner because that pass doesn't even get off. But you did see the big play capabilities of some of those players, like Alec Pierce. We talked about how he's averaging most yards per catch. He had 40 on one pass.
Yeah, for sure. He bounced off Branch too. He took a hit from Branch and bounced off and kept running. It was like, wow.
Yeah. But yeah, Michael Pittman had a nice little game. I want to say Vildor was on Michael Pittman. Oh,
Vildor got worked out today, bro, early.
Yeah, but Michael Pittman's I want to say he's a bigger guy.
Guy.
He's 6. Yeah, Michael Pittman is 6'4", 200 and some pounds, and ideally Terrion Arnold is the man
for sure
that would be on him. So that one kind of made sense. But outside of that, of Pittman's 90 yards, he distributed the other 80 amongst Donnie Mitchell and Reggie Downs, who I want to say
Mhm.
didn't finish the game, or I know he was injured at some point in it. So,
His shoulder was
um,
hanging on by a thread.
yeah, and that's another guy that's not very big. So,
Mm.
um, yeah, the secondary did a pretty good job outside of Michael Pittman.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna
yeah,
read a couple of these comments from MSU Detroit fan. MSU Detroit fan says 9 wins in a row. Yes,
it's crazy.
absolutely. MSU Detroit fan also said it's not the worst performance in a win this year, but definitely could have played better at times. He
Yeah,
also says Kendall Vildor, although yeah, I mean it wasn't the prettiest of wins. Um, it was a win. It was a win, and um, by to win by 18 away from home and not look pretty, that's kind of impressive.
without your outside corner and everybody else, we
Right.
got a
I'm
laundry list
I, I want to see
of
the
guys.
injury
We
report
actually had a
on
couple of
Wednesday.
rotation. That'll be because
Mm.
yeah, because
Yeah, I
that'll be
want.
the day before the game. So that'll be.
Yeah, I want to see
I
that.
think Sirianni Arnold.
Kendall Vildor had a rough game in the beginning, but like I said, those wide receivers are tough. They're tough. They're speedy. They're Pittman is big. He's a huge guy, and it's down. What's his name? Downs. Well, number
Yeah,
one,
Reggie Downs
Reggie Downs
or
is
Josh. Was it Josh Downs?
something Downs, but he's pretty
I'm so
fast.
bad.
He's a very good, reliable receiver, and Donnie Mitchell, the rookie. That's one person I had circled to draft. Hopefully, uh, in my mock drafts. I mean, hey, but they're going to
I think
Indianapolis.
we ended up passing him up. Well, we ended up passing him up for Arnold, but
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and I get it. We needed a corner, so I get it. I get it. But I was hoping that Donnie Mitchell would be uh in the second round when we drafted, when it was time for us to draft. I was hoping he'd be there, but he wasn't. He got drafted late first round. So, yeah, let me read this. MSU Detroit fan said, hopefully Arnold or Straw can return soon, just in case Davis misses time. You know what was scary about Davis? He was reaching
It was a
for his knee.
contact on his bench. Oh, was it
Yeah,
his knee? I thought it was his hamstring.
I thought he was reaching for his knee. I could be wrong.
It may have been. I can't.
Yeah. If it's his hamstring, I'm more happy than I'd rather see that than a knee injury. But yeah, Mr. My City says we are not losing another regular season game. Hate to say it, but I wish we would so we can get a fresh taste of what it feels like. Oh my gosh, that's that's an acquired taste I don't want to have. Sounds sacrilegious, but man, we need to come down a bit before second round. Uh,
The Texans game was kind of an eye opener.
I just don't want to lose at the right time. Mr. My City, I understand exactly what you're saying. And it's not yeah, not at the wrong time. I just rather whether win or lose, it happens during the regular season. It happens during the regular season. I don't care when it happens.
I just want to.
We as long as we don't lose in the playoffs, I'm good.
Yeah,
so
and
so
you wanna secure home field advantage. You wanna
mhm, yeah,
you
of
wanna
course.
sure.
But if I mean, with nobody expected us, and I'm pretty sure anybody that's watching or listening, nobody expected the Lions to be 10-1 right now. I know I wouldn't have said after 11. I was hoping we'd be 8-3, 9-2. Would be outstanding for me. You know what I'm saying? If I said at the beginning of the season, we start the first 11 games, what's your record going to be? I would have said 8-3 or hopefully 9-2. We've exceeded what I thought would be a 10-1. Now, I don't think we need to lose to learn. I think we need some tough games to learn because you can learn from a tough game just as well as a loss. So, uh,
Mhm, mhm.
and long as we secure home field, I don't care what the record is at the end of the season. Um, Lions are 10-1, man. The Lions are 10-1 with
The
6
crazy
games left.
Did Craig Reynolds get hurt at the end of the game?
Don't tell me that, Foster.
Nah, someone. I mean, I mean, not to downplay it, but he is our third string running back.
Well, we got Baki.
Exactly. I mean, hey,
I know that's your boy. I know that's your. But Mr. Mike said, he says injuries could catch up. We just don't know. I believe in these guys though. Hey, Mr. Mike said, injuries are piling up right now. Like we're losing people left and right. It is crazy. MSU Detroit fan says if we're going to lose another game this year, it will most likely be against Buffalo or San Francisco. I agree with that. We still have to face the Bears on Thanksgiving. They fought valiantly. Oh my God, they fought good today.
right. Keep it simple.
They fought a good fight today. They just they pulled up short. MSU Detroit fan says the final game against Minnesota could be a toss-up based on if the starters play. I'm hoping that game 18, it doesn't matter what happens. We've already clinched the division. I'm hoping by that's the scenario. Now, I don't know if we have to go 17-1 to do that. You got to remember, Philly is 8-2, correct? They lost 2 games.
Sounds right.
Yeah, they've lost 2 games. They're just a game behind us. So, long as we finish ahead of Philly and ahead of, I think, the Vikings, they're the closest ones. As long as we finish ahead of those guys, I don't care what the record is. Go into that, get that first round bye, get home field throughout. Yeah, and that'll give us time to get healthy. The next game, we got the Bears, Thanksgiving. Foster, is it too late? No, I mean, I don't want to go into a preview right now. I could though.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go too. But I think the Bears have shown they've lost some very, very close games.
Yeah.
They're not getting blown out. They're losing very, very close games. Mr. My City says, yeah, the Buffalo game seemed to be the only test coming up. We handle San Fran. Yes, the Bears did fight today. They could make a decent game come Thursday. Hopefully, DeMont is good. You know what I think is going to happen Thursday? I think they're going to fight. I think it's going to be a tough game, but I think we win that game. I don't think it's going to be like by a field goal or by a touchdown. I think we win by 10.
I was gonna say 14 plus. I mean, how many? Yeah, we won by what? 17 today?
18. I think you're going to see what you saw. I think we're going to see the kind of game we saw today, right? Where it's like pulling away, eventually, and just a gradual game of just not being close, a score here, score there, and at some point it winds up being where we're going to win at the end. So. But I think that's what we're going to have with the Bears.
Yeah, and that was a game where I never really sweated again, of course the game was close early, but every game starts at 0-0, so it's going to be close for a period of time. But I mean, they never really threatened per se. So
yeah. Lions remaining schedule: Bears, Packers, Bills, at Bears, at 49ers, and Vikings. And I feel pretty good about this remaining schedule. I do. That's from MSU Detroit fan. Mr. My City said, I think we went easy today because we have to play Thursday. I think they pulled Montgomery for that very reason. I think they didn't put Taylor Decker back out because of that reason. I think I got to wait and see what happened with Carlton Davis. Anytime you have a leg injury and it's non-contact, it worries me. So we'll see. And we got to remember, we do have Amik Robinson, who made a very good fourth down tackle to secure the turnover on downs. He's very capable of playing corner if we need him to play on the outside if we need to. Mr. My City, Mr. My City said it was methodically boring game. It wasn't fireworks, but it was one of those games where you just had to be patient and watch as a fan. because it wasn't. Usually the Lions. Here's the Lions in a nutshell, right? Usually, typically, after since the first two games, it's first drive. You might get a touchdown, you might not. Second drive, touchdown. Third drive, touchdown. Fourth drive, touchdown. You know what I'm saying? It usually goes along that where it takes a minute for the offense to heat up, but once it starts clicking, they're moving up and down the field like crazy. So it wasn't one of those games today. MSU Detroit fan puts up the Eagles schedule. He said Eagles schedules at Rams today, at Ravens, Panthers, Steelers, at Commanders, Cowboys, Giants. I think they have a tougher road than we do the last stretch. I think that Rams game is not a gimme. At the Rams, I don't think that's a gimme game. At the Ravens that's a loss for them. I'm going to say that. That's a loss. They're going to beat the Panthers. They may lose to the Steelers. At the Commanders, I believe the Commanders are going to win game 2. They lost to them before. They're not going to. And the Cowboys beat the Commanders today.
I was wondering, who won that game?
I think the Cowboys won. They were winning earlier. Near the end. I don't know if they held on. The Cowboys won, wow. Yeah. They won 34-26.
They put up some points, too.
Yeah, and then, you know what's crazy? The Commanders are going to need that game versus them. So they're going to, Philly got a tougher schedule, tougher road. Mr. Mindset, he says, man, I'm pissed the Cowboys won. In the grand scheme of things, you want everybody with a good record to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want the Commanders to win in this instant because they have a pretty good record. I think they're 7-5. I'd rather have them at 7-5 than 8-4. Just because. But Cowboys are what is their record? 4-7. They're not going to make the playoffs. They need to knock off as many teams as they need to do. Let me see that. Let's see. Yeah, Eagles play the Cowboys again. They already blew Cowboys out in Dallas, so they had to play them in Philly. Philly already beat them pretty soundly in Dallas. So yeah, but one thing we can do as fans, and one thing the Lions can do, is not worry about everybody else. They have to play their schedule, concentrate on their games, and just win. If they win, nothing else matters. MSU Detroit fan, we appreciate you for all this information. We need this. The Vikings remaining schedule. MSU Detroit fan says the Vikings schedule: Cardinals, Falcons, Bears, at Seahawks, at Packers, at Lions. I think they have a tougher schedule than we do.
You think so? Okay, Cardinals.
Okay. Falcons is not an easy game. Seahawks is not an easy game. At the Packers, not an easy game. Wait, hold on. They already beat the Packers at the Packers. Are you sure that's at the Packers? They had game 1 at Green Bay. All right. That was at Green Bay.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that was at Green Bay.
What's the Seahawks record?
Yeah, let's see. MSU, Mr. Maisey said MSU fan out here with the open tabs doing all the research right now. Hey, man, we might have to recruit him, man. He's working, man. What's your schedule like, MSU Detroit fan? Yeah, I think
the Seahawks.
I think the Seahawks had a great win last week. What's their record, Foster?
5-5.
Damn. Okay, they got a game today. Okay. They got a game today. Who they play this afternoon? Do you know? They beat Frisco last week. They came from behind to they had a comeback.
Oh, Cardinals.
Yeah, they should win today.
Cardinals are 6-4.
You know what? I can't. The Cardinals is one of those teams you can't really figure out because they'll play really good one week, and then they'll just totally look out of place the next.
Because I know we didn't destroy them, but
they hung tough. They hung tough, and they blew out the Bears. I don't know if they
Salute.
see. Hold on. Yeah, they have a chance to play the Cardinals this week. MSU Detroit fan says at this point, the two biggest threats in the NFC for the Lions right now is Minnesota and Philadelphia. I said the same thing earlier. I agree with that wholeheartedly. MSU Detroit fan also says I had Washington on that list, but their recent losses took them out of that conversation, in my opinion. Yeah, that's why I say the Dallas loss. You want Dallas to win in that situation. We don't want all these people, all these good teams up there with us. You know, you never know what's going to happen the rest of the season. We're going to take another quick break. Don't go nowhere, people. 10 seconds for people that's watching. If you're listening, you're going to hear about, 4 or 5 ads. Yo, we're back. Yeah, I think the rest of the season, if you look at it, it's only 6 games left. Remember when we were saying it's going to be it's early. It's a lot of football left. It's not early anymore. It's not a lot of football games left. And I think if the Lions finish 4-2 the rest of the way, we lock up that NFC division. We lock it up. We go 4-2 the rest of the way out. What do you think, folks?
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely realistic. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine us just winning out, but at the same time, I mean, we don't really have too many weaknesses to be exploited. I mean, we're literally playing, utilizing the entire roster as far as
everybody should have playing experience.
Yeah, so because we could have easily attributed a loss to having to plug in players, but we continue to, and we lost is when we were probably our most healthy. So.
Yeah. MSU Detroit fan says nobody from the NFC West shouldn't be too big of a problem unless it's somehow the Rams again.
I don't want to see the Rams anymore.
No, I don't have to see the Rams anymore. Don't have to see them anymore.
Those games are always tough.
MSU Detroit fan says I'm not scared of the Rams, but they just seem to be the most likely team in the West that could possibly win in Ford Field. I think the way it'll play out is that the Rams probably going to look at a wild card game more than likely. And it'll be someone else, I think. I mean, because if we're looking at how I see it, we're going to get a first round bye. And I think that wild card person, the least winningest team won't be there. But playoff football is playoff football. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it is. You just have to secure home field, and it doesn't matter who you play. You just play your best football, and you should be fine. Especially with the season that the Detroit Lions are having, you got to go into that. If you have that home field advantage, and you play in the playoffs, I think Ford Field is going to be rocking. You know what I'm saying? I think the Lions, I don't think they're going to lose in the playoffs if they win the division. I don't think they're going to lose in the playoffs anyway. I don't care what happens. I think we're going to the Super Bowl, and I think whoever's there, it's going to be belt BTA, and we're going to win the Super Bowl. That's what I think. You know what BTA is, right? First word is belt. First word is belt. Hey, Foster, you think because of the recent BTAs we've done to the last couple of teams, you have a win like today, 24-6, and it just doesn't seem like, like we played good?
I mean, 18 points is a sizable victory. That's 3 scores? Or
yeah,
it's 3 scores.
Yeah.
So that's plenty.
Yeah. So MSU Detroit fan says, so say a Vikings and Rams playoff game for that scenario. I tell you what, I don't want to see the Vikings in the playoff. Not that I'm worried about them. They have an explosive offense. And the Rams can be explosive as well.
They have. I wouldn't even say they have an explosive offense. Jordan Jefferson had another. What's his name?
Justin.
Jefferson. Justin. I'm like,
you get Addison and Jefferson intertwined there.
oh, is his name Jordan Addison? Yeah,
It's Jordan Addison. And I mess up names all the time, so I'm loving this.
Yeah. I always know the last name is the first name that I sometimes trip up on. But Jefferson had 2 receptions for 27 yards today. I've seen that happen far too many times. I won't say it's happened a ton of times, but
Wait, hold on. Is that all he had for the day?
Yes, bro. Their offense isn't all that. It isn't as dynamic as it's been in past years. I'm telling you, when they had Josh Dobbs and all those different quarterbacks last year, Mullins, and they were way more scary, honestly.
That's very surprising. 2 for 27. It's very surprising.
27. That is light. That is light work.
And I saw one of the receptions came in overtime.
What?
One of them happened in overtime. I watched that one.
Yep, he had. I mean, they scored 30 points, so it's like, okay, that sounds like they was really lighting it up. Well, I mean, yeah, Darnold had 330 yards and 2 touchdowns, but it wasn't Jefferson. Addison went off.
Addison had
and Hawkinson went off.
Yeah.
Yep. So 161, and Hawkinson had 115.
Yeah, they are
against the Bears.
They're at Hawkinson has been a difference maker there. He's been a difference maker there.
I didn't think he would come back that fast.
Yeah. Oh, MSU Detroit fan says TJ who? Oh, never mind that. He's nobody.
Hushmanzada.
He's nobody. Hushmanzada. Remember when he came? When we got him at the end of his career? Man,
no.
Yes, we did, bro.
TJ Hushmanzada at the end of his career.
From the Bengals, the Lions had him on the team, and I was happy. Like, we got us a receiver. We got us a second receiver. He did nothing. It was short-lived. He did nothing. I was happy as I don't know what. I said, we got a second receiver. He's getting down for Cincinnati. Yeah. No. Didn't do it.
Remember we had Anquan Bolden?
That was near the end of his. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. A year or two, that was good, but yeah.
Yeah, but it was the end of the road for him. It was at the end of his career. It was still good when he first got here. It just that you can see the gaslight on near the end of his career, and like, yeah, gaslight is on. But the Lions win 24-6. I guess Turkey Day is the next. Well, no, we have a show on Wednesday. We do have a show on Wednesday. NFC North show with the Bears representative and the Vikings representative. And that should be good because the Bears and the Vikings played today, and it was a tough game. They're going to talk about the game. Pay is going to vent. Dave is going to smile. Dave is going to talk crazy. It's going to be a good show. So tune in for that show on Wednesday. And then me and Foster will figure out on Thanksgiving if we're going to do a pregame show on Thanksgiving or not. Now, Foster, here's some things I want you to think about now. We can either do a pregame show on Wednesday, so you don't have to do a show on Thursday, or we can do a post-game show on Friday. I don't want to interrupt your holiday. Think about it. Just think about it. I mean, you don't have to answer nothing right now. These are just options I'm throwing out there. I understand. I run into a lot of people that say, I don't celebrate the holidays and this, that, and other, and they become real. I think the holidays are family time. You spend time with your family. It has nothing really much to do with the tradition as far as like because you'll get a lot of people saying, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving and this that crazy holiday, what they did to the pilgrim. Did to the Indians. No, it's not that. Thanksgiving for me is about me getting with my family, enjoying each other, giving thanks for each other, and giving thanks for giving thanks for all the things that we take for granted that we don't give thanks for. We recognize that day. And when I chill out with my family, I watch football and we eat good. That's all it is for me. So I don't want to plan something for you, Foster, if you're going there, because I wholeheartedly believe family first. Be with your family. Our time on this earth is limited. We do have a end date. So in the meantime, you spend time with your family and you enjoy those special moments as much as you can. MSU Detroit fan says Golden Tate was the only true wide receiver the Lions had during Calvin Johnson time, and they only played 2 years together. Crazy, right? And to think Calvin Johnson put up those numbers the way he did. Remember Kenny Galladay and Danny Amendola? MSU Detroit fan says that I was very upset when Galladay didn't get re-signed. I was hurt. I said we needed him, and he went to the Giants and did nothing.
That was crazy. That needs to be studied. What happened there?
Injuries, and it didn't work out. Didn't work out. MSU Detroit fan says, wake up and watch the Detroit parade, then watch the Lions, and finally dinner. That's Thanksgiving. That's what it's all about, man. It's all about enjoying yourself, relaxing, especially the people that work every day and get a day off that day. Oh, man, enjoy, relax, kick back. This is the first Thanksgiving where there won't be nobody at home but me and the wife, just us. No kids. My mother-in-law's going out of town. It's just us. And so we're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna, it's gonna be a good holiday. It's gonna be a good holiday.
I think last year my brother was on the show.
Yeah, I talked to you. We talked during Thanksgiving. Yeah, we had the show on Thanksgiving because we lost and we were all venting. But this year's gonna be different, Foster. We're gonna have a victory. We're gonna have it's gonna be a good game. We're gonna have a good victory. We're going to have a good dinner with our families. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. And I also want to say, this is aside all the football. I got 2 sons, right? I have one that just graduated. You have honor roll from the time you step into junior high all the way through high school. My oldest kid had just graduated. He never made the honor roll. Barely got through high school. Never made honor roll. My 14-year-old during junior high, he didn't make honor roll in junior high. He's in 9th grade now, and his first marking period, he made the honor roll. So shout out to my son Demetrius. Dad is proud of you. This made my day because I found out like in the middle of the Lions game, and I just want to say, I know my son's not listening, but if he ever runs these shows back, I am proud of you. I want my listeners to know I love my son Demetrius. I love my other son Donnie too as well. But I am very proud of my son for making the honor roll. He's a smart kid, man. He was potty trained in 2 days. I knew I had something special then. So yeah. Foster, you want to put a bow on this?
Yeah. Dang, I wasn't prepared. But yeah. When it comes down to it, the time of possession, we were able to hold on to the ball, keep the ball out of Anthony Richardson's hands. We were able to limit the big plays, and what else did we do? Oh, we were able to, I guess, capitalize off of the mental errors and mistakes that the Colts made, because they definitely had some opportunities to get the job done. But we weathered the storm. I gave Aaron Glenn his flowers at the beginning of the game, before the game, And did you get a chance to see him sitting on the bench in the?
Oh, he was chilling.
Yeah, I was like, damn, wait a minute. But we were playing offense at least. I'm like, what is he doing sitting on the bench like that? But it's like,
Get your
sometimes you
ass
gotta,
up.
yeah, sometimes you just gotta sit back and enjoy because that was the second game where the team gave up 6 points, 2 field goals, and this was without Terrion Arnold and Ennis Registrar. So, he gonna get his credit one day. One day he's gonna make a good head coach. But for the time being, he is here with us. Jared Goff quietly had a really good game. He didn't have a whole bunch of touchdown passes, but the running backs did their share. And yeah, another good victory. Gives us good momentum going into the Thanksgiving game. The Bears lose another heartbreaking game late, and those games, those games wear at you. So yeah, but they'll come in there determined to ruin our Thanksgiving, but I don't see that happening. So good game.
MSU Detroit fan has a very good point, and I thought about that as well. MSU Detroit fan says everyone talking about Ben Johnson leaving for a head coaching job, but Aaron Glenn is another possible head coach hire for the next year. Hey, I can't disagree with that one. I think that's the flip side of having a good coordinator or a good assistant is they get job offers. You're not going to keep a good coordinator for too long unless they have in their plans that they don't want to be anything but a coordinator. And a lot of them aren't thinking like that. They're looking to be the head coach somewhere. So that's the problem. You get a good coordinator, other people are going to want him to coach their organization. That's just how it goes. The only person is the what's the offensive coordinator? He was the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs for the longest. The black guy. He played running back for Colorado back in the day. He's the offensive coordinator. He can't get a head coaching job to save his life.
He played
He played back in the day. For Colorado. MSU Detroit fan, you know who he's still an offensive coordinator for somebody else. He left the Chiefs and he became an offensive coordinator elsewhere. I don't know exactly where he is though. But yeah, he's been looking for a head coaching job and he just won't get the opportunity. He hasn't had a job offer at all. He's interviewed, I can't think of his name. He played running back back in
the enemy.
Yes, Eric Bieniemy. Yes,
I had to look it up. I would have never remembered.
Yes, absolutely. He's been pretty upset that he can't get a head coaching job. He's an exception to the rule. That usually doesn't happen. Usually, a good offensive coordinator or a good defensive coordinator that sustains success over some time, they get offered a head coaching job at some point. It might not be from the destinations that they want. It's going to be somebody. There's going to be somewhere where it's pretty tough sledding. Like they're yeah. So it's just you're going to start from the bottom, But hey, it is what it is. MSU Detroit fan says hire Brian Forrest as defensive coordinator if he isn't a head coach next year. I think there's going to be some head coaches that won't be around that were coordinators, and they'll outside of Brian Flores as well. There'll be options. There'll be a lot of options for coordinators. Let's see. Eric Bieniemy, MSU Detroit fan says Eric Bieniemy is currently a head coach and arm running back coach at UCLA. I didn't know that. Assistant head coach. Okay. I didn't know that. I know he was I know last year he was a coordinator somewhere. But yeah, that's nice to know. That's crazy. Yeah, let's get out of here, Foster. I know you want to enjoy the rest of your Sunday. We'll get with each other and we'll let the people know when we're going to do another show. We definitely have to get a Pistons show in soon, so think about that as well. So before we get out of here, I want to remind everyone to subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube.
Get your lick back. If an nigga gon' do something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop, let this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back.